We are back here with our little NFL talk. And I think we should dedicate a little bit of this to Connor just because he's not here and would probably want to hit on it. The Falcons are so bad, it's frightening. Maybe
Yeah.
the worst team ever.
Yeah. They're bad. They're real bad.
Will they be taking a quarterback in the draft next year?
So, I mean, I wish we had him on to answer. Do you think they will?
I don't think so. I think Dan Quinn's going to be gone. And I think
Oh,
whoever the
100%.
next coach
Nobody's
is, yeah.
nobody's got a hotter seat than Mr. Quinn. Nobody.
I don't think you can give up on Matty Ice that quickly.
I think you take one if you're them, you take one middle, I would say third round. You really start to think about it in the third round.
And I think you focus those first, second, third round picks on offensive linemen.
Oh, they need so much help defensively.
They need
I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, they need God.
So, and it's honestly unbelievable. You've got some of honestly the worst teams I think I've ever seen in the NFL at the bottom of the league this year. You got an immense pool of teams where we have no idea who's good and who isn't. We have no idea.
Yeah.
And then you have a very small number of teams who are legitimately elite title contenders, I would say. It's the weirdest, one of the weirdest seasons we've seen so far.
Yeah, like you have the teams that wouldn't beat Liberty football. The Dolphins, the Bengals, the Redskins.
Yes. Yeah.
Falcons can probably join that group now.
I mean, and the Jets aren't too far removed. Like I would say you've got four for sure. Dolphins, Redskins, Bengals, Falcons, four of the worst teams I've ever seen. The Jets are very, very close. They haven't had their quarterback, though, so I'm going to wait and see. But
honestly, the Giants are right there.
Giants and Jets are just like a sniff above those other four, I think, right now. A sniff.
Just a little bit. So the Dolphins lost by 10. They actually didn't look terrible in the first half. I was actually hysterically laughing at a couple points because I thought the Dolphins were going to win. I was just like, if they go 1-15 and their only win being against the Bills, like I would appreciate
on the road.
That. Yeah, I would have appreciated that. But no, they dolphined in the end. They dolphined. You can use your imagination to guess what that means.
I saw their first play of the game. Fitzpatrick threw it about 4 yards backwards to the guy, which was literally like the drawn-up play design. 4 yards backwards with no blockers in front of them. They lost. It was about 2nd and 20 the next play.
Yeah. They dolphined. But
that was the first play of the game. Set the tempo. Set the tone.
Yeah, no doubt. Your team was on a bye, weren't they?
Carolina was on a bye. We'll say this. Kyle Allen already announced the starter next week in one of the biggest matchups of the week on the road against the undefeated San Francisco 49ers. I'm very excited for it.
We will get to that definitely in a second. The only other game I want to talk about, which is kind of a really irrelevant game, but how are the Chargers so bad? Yeah. I don't understand that.
When I was looking today, they were top 5 in Super Bowl odds. They've taken the biggest hit this year. In terms of teams that were probably in the top half of the field. They have I think it's actually might be fair to say they have the worst offensive line in the NFL right now. They can't do anything up front. They lost their 2 best linemen, Pouncey, and who's the other? Who's the tackle they lost? Why can't I think of the name?
Oh, the rookie, the same year as Tunsil. Or not, he's not a rookie, but he was in the same draft as Tunsil. He went like 6th overall. Ronnie Staley? No, that's a Baltimore guy. No. I don't know. But yes.
And we're going to find it. Forrest Lamp. Actually?
That's not.
No, I have no idea. No, that's just another lineman who got hurt. Yeah, they're in trouble.
When Austin Eckler is your leading receiver, I think that's concerning in itself. But I don't know. It is what it is. I have nothing towards the Chargers, so I just don't really care.
Russell Okung is a part of that offensive line. He's been out. And, yeah, Mike Pouncey. So I don't know what you're thinking of, but Okung and Pouncey.
Okay. John, do you remember what your lock of the week was last week?
I believe it was the Chicago Bears over the New Orleans Saints. once again betting against the Saints, once again being proven wrong. They're a very good team. They're in that elite class. The Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears. Let's talk about them real quick.
Okay.
This team is god awful. They're actually bad. It is safe for me to say I think the Bears are the worst team in the NFC North, which is the best division in football. They're the worst team in it. They're not contenders. They might not finish above 500. They suck.
I don't understand the offense there.
It's terrible.
Trubisky is bad. And that game, keep in mind that game was close entering the fourth. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that game was close throughout. And David Montgomery had 2 carries. They ran the ball a total of 7 times. Trubisky threw the ball 54 times.
I have no idea what they're doing. Absolutely none. Trubisky is bad. You're right. He is bad. Matt Nagy's got to figure something out. You cannot run the ball 7 times in this game and expect to win.
Yeah.
And the defense has not looked impressive this year compared to last year. Not even close. So they've got a lot of questions they got to answer here. I don't think they're any good.
I'm right there with you. My lock of the week was I hit it. Arizona over the Giants. Arizona with a nice 27-21 win. Odd game. Big game from Edmonds on the ground. Kyler Murray fairly quiet. And then the Giants, Saquon did his thing. But Arizona's decent. They're decent.
I like them. I think that and I've been telling people this lately, Kingsbury is kind of meant for the NFL. I don't think he was good as a college coach. This is the case with some people, some coaches. He's pretty good. I like the offense they run, dude. Kyler Murray and him are doing well together. Defense has some talent. But yeah, they're going to be a team that no one's looking to play this year. They're going to be a pesky little team. So interested to see. They're probably going to end up around 500 is my guess.
Yeah. Let's move on to week 8. Coming at us quickly. Possibly
That's
the worst.
What she said.
Coming very quickly, yes. Possibly the worst Monday Night Football game in history. I'd like to throw that out there to begin with. Is it the worst Monday Night Football game in history, John?
I'm at a loss. I'm really excited for the world to kind of see this Miami Dolphins team, though. I think that they deserve this situation. They deserve this spotlight. And they might turn some heads in a bad way.
I will say this. You throw Fitzmagic out there on Monday Night Football, he could sparkle.
Under the lights, dude. Fitzmagic. That's honestly kind of arousing to think about.
And the shitty thing is this is a lose-lose for Dolphins because Miami has Pittsburgh's pick. So their draft spot's going to get hurt in some way Monday night.
Yep.
So let's start out, though. It's too early. Let's start out with, a game that I think is a must-win for one of these two teams. Sunday at 1 o'clock, we have Philly traveling to Buffalo. This is a must-win game for the Eagles, playing in classy old Buffalo. Buffalo is favored -2, over under 43.5. What do you think about this one, John?
Buffalo wins this game. The Eagles are in a tailspin. Their secondary is porous. That might be the worst secondary. It's actually probably not the worst. There are a few really, really bad ones. They are bottom 3, though, right now. Injuries have a lot to do with that, but they look bad. Their offense has been unimpressive. The Jets put up, I believe, more than twice as many points as the Eagles on the Cowboys defense, so that's not a good look. The Bills win this game.
Betting on Buffalo scares me. This is one I'm going to have to see what happens with the line throughout the week. I would like it if that went to Buffalo -3.
Yeah.
And then I got to think about it. I'm not ready to make any picks for that one yet. If I had to go one way right now, I'd take Philly. I don't know why. Maybe just to piss off Bills fans that are listening. But that one remains to be seen.
Okay.
The next one I want to go to, there's really not a lot of
the 1 o'clock slate is brutal. I'm pretty intrigued These are two teams I feel like we've increasingly been talking about, at least my focus. Cardinals at the New Orleans Saints here.
Yes.
Uh, Pretty steep line. Looks like it's sitting at 9.5 right now. Do you think the Cardinals can keep this one close? I bet against the Saints consecutive weeks, consecutive locks of the week, and been absolutely burned by it. So I'm kind of afraid of them. They're officially in my head. They have rent free.
Interesting. I bet on both Arizona and New Orleans this yesterday actually, and won money on both. So I'm kind of feeling that Arizona plus 9.5. I think New Orleans will definitely win the game, but I see it being, a 4 to 7 point margin of victory. Am I crazy for thinking that?
You're the first thing from crazy for thinking that. You know, I feel like New Orleans is just due to not cover one of these games. I feel like I got to keep betting against them for some reason.
It
The
just
devil on
upping
my
the
shoulder
ante.
is saying take
Yeah.
the Cardinals, saying take the Cardinals. The Saints can't cover every game, so I'm with you. Probably the kiss of death. I really and I've bet on the Cardinals a lot this year. Like honestly, maybe more than anyone. They're a team that's I feel like going to keep most games pretty close.
Yeah. No, no doubt. So let's get into I think probably the second biggest game of the weekend. It's John's Carolina Panthers on the road at San Francisco. San Francisco's a 5.5 point favorite. I don't know how San Francisco is good. I truly don't. Garoppolo's been so average this year. I don't understand this. But at
It's
the same time, San Francisco is favored by 5.5, and I kind of like San Francisco minus 5.5 here.
it has been their defensive play. They are ranked first across multiple categories in terms of yards allowed, yards per play, both through the pass and rush. They are very, very good up front, getting after the passer. They're a very good defensive team. Honestly, to this point in the year, they have a case to say that they've been the best defensive unit in the league. That's how they're undefeated. Um, this is a game that it frightens the hell out of me as a Panthers fan here. Kyle Allen, now they're coming off a bye on the road, just played in London. Um, Good thing they had a bye after that. But now they're going to San Francisco. It frightens me, for sure. There's no doubt about that. Now the 49ers, I don't have they seen someone as dynamic as McCaffrey this year? I don't know. I don't know.
Um,
I would say
that
probably not.
does Case Keenum count?
Case Keenum does count. Case Keenum, terrible player. I can't even sugarcoat that one. Not great. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I probably will not bet against Carolina in this spot,
Okay.
if especially if that sneaks its way to 6 or 7. I'll definitely take Carolina. Uh, I don't know that they win this one. I could see San Francisco by a field goal.
Okay. Uh, the next one I wanted to hit on was, the big one, the nightcap, Sunday Night Football. We have Kansas City at home at 5-2, taking on the Green Bay Packers 6-1. Mahomes is out. Green Bay is favored by 5. I
Sound, you go.
I am taking Kansas City plus 5 all day. Matt effing Moore is here to play football. And for the folks at home that haven't seen the real Matty Ice play, Matt Moore is dynamic. He is the definition of a gunslinger, and just watch out is all I'm gonna say.
Sound the alarms, folks. The Aaron Rodgers MVP chatter is heating up. Here he is. He has arrived. Me and Mr. Marzullo, we took him MVP before the season plus 800. We need it. I'll say it. We need it. So I've got Green Bay here. I've got Green Bay by 10 at least. I think
Wow.
that they win this game and don't have a very difficult. They're coming off their most complete performance of the year against a stingy Raiders team. Um, Blew them out of the water. Aaron Rodgers, 5 touchdowns through the air. I believe he had one on the ground as well. Just a tremendous effort out of him. His best performance of the season. Kansas City defensively, they really shut down the Broncos last week, but that is not saying a whole lot. So I think Rodgers exploits the secondary. And I think that they get after, with their pretty solid pass rush of the Smith brothers, I think they get after Matt Moore a bit and put this one away with a few minutes remaining.
Okay, so we are going complete opposite directions for that one. And I think it's time that everyone's been waiting for, John's irrelevant game of the week. Where are you
There are
taking us to?
so many options I could go at here. So many options. Um, I'm going to say I'm going to discard the Monday Night Football game since it's in primetime game. So we'll throw that one out. The 4 o'clock slate is just not bad enough for me to pick a game out of there as bad as I want to. This 1 o'clock slate is probably the worst that we've had all season. It is absolutely miserable. And I think the winner is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Tennessee Titans. God, I couldn't care less. This is a shit game. I mean, talk about two just abysmal teams. Tennessee could not be worse than that 3-4. They've got a really good defense, but that offense is Tannehill's at the helm now. They're not going to do a whole lot. Tampa Bay, I'm going to take them, I think, in this spot for some reason.
Wow.
Jameis really's got a really legitimate case for being the worst starting quarterback in the league. It's a bad game. It's a bad game.
That is a
And
bad game.
it's not even a bad game where it's bad enough for me to be interested in it like the Dolphins-Redskins game. And this is just a shit matchup all around. So we'll side with Tampa, but we don't love it.
All right. Well, let's get into our locks of the week quickly.
To say, I've got one.
Okay,
I'm excited.
I've got one as well. Mine is Seattle on the road at Atlanta. Seattle is favored by 3.5. I'm absolutely pounding Seattle in that situation. Go Hawks.
It baffles my mind that they're only 3.5. The Rams were only 3. They just won by about 75. That's weird. That's a good pick there. I believe that the Detroit Lions are going to absolutely annihilate the New York Giants. They're going to eat their cookies. They're currently -7 at home right now. I think Detroit wins this game by like 4 touchdowns. I think this is absolute blowout city right here.
Well, there you have it. John, how about a little bonus pick for the folks at home? Give me if you had to place money on it today, your Super Bowl pick.
My Super Bowl pick, the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going with the Houston Texans. So let's move on.
4-3 team. I like it.
Yeah. Let's move on quickly. I'll just update you some news in the NBA today as NBA season actually starts tomorrow night with a big nightcap of Clippers-Lakers. I will not be watching that. I can confirm. I can promise you I will not be watching basketball tomorrow. However, some signings that took place that were of importance in the NBA. Kind of. This one's kind of really boring. I don't know why I'm saying it, but the Utah Jazz and Joe Ingles agreed to a 1-year, $14 million extension. Did you know that, John?
No.
Okay.
You can throw out a lot of numbers and stats at me about the NBA in the last several weeks to months, and I probably wouldn't know about it.
Brooklyn's Taurean Prince signed a 2-year, $29 million extension.
Is he related to Tyshawn Prince, the Detroit Piston legend?
No, they are not related, I don't think.
And people forget that team, that Pistons team back in like the mid-2000s was kind of something special, really. It was.
They were talented. Zion Williamson has died. He had surgery today, out 6 to 8 weeks. So New Orleans tanking has begun for 2020. Domantas Sabonis has agreed to a 4-year, $77 million extension with the Pacers. That's a bit ridiculous. Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics have agreed to a 4-year, $115 million contract extension. That's pricey for a guy that's like their 5th best option. The Pistons waived Joe Johnson today. That's kind of sad. Joe was one of my go-tos in 2K.
Joe was coming off a massive season in the Big 3 league, too. Like, he had like the best stat line, probably the MVP if they do that type of thing.
And finally, Buddy Hield and the Sacramento Kings agreed to a 4-year, $94 million extension. As I said, basketball gets started tomorrow night. Only two games on the slate. New Orleans at Toronto. Obviously, no Zion now. And let's do a guess that line, actually, John, to finish it off for the night. Two games.
Why not? Why not?
Guess that line. New Orleans at Toronto, the reigning world
God,
champions.
oh my goodness, how exciting! Wow, I'll definitely watch this game. I'm going with Toronto by 9.
Toronto by 7. Not a bad guess.
Okay.
And finally, the Lakers and Clippers. I guess the Clippers are technically home.
Yeah, another game I just could not be more excited to watch. I'm probably gonna go with the Clippers by 1.
It is the Lakers by 3.
Really interesting.
And there you have it, folks. The John and Chad episode. I don't know what the
Wait,
name of it was. What?
Chad, and I gotta ask you. I mean, any updates with the ladies?
Honestly, it was an odd weekend. We were not in the state. We got going early, and we were not in the state by 7 p.m. to really work on it. More conflicts than flirting, I guess.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, so next weekend I'll keep you updated. Hopefully, I find the love of my life this coming weekend.
Okay. And I just wanted to shout out, the guys, the gang, the boy, Mike Rodriguez, guy buys, he texts the chat. He goes, I'm bored. Friends are out of town this weekend. It's about 1 p.m. Friday. I say, hey, come to Charlotte. Look at a flight. Guy ends up buying a flight about 20 minutes later. He's in Charlotte the same night. We have a big weekend. Little Sunday fun day. A couple mimosas started going down around 4 p.m. Sunday, and the night took off from there. Just we love the company.
Wow. Well, there you have it, folks. We will be back next week. Hopefully, Connor's actually here and will contribute in some way.
But
Obviously,
maybe not. I mean, I think it went pretty well. What do you think?
I think we killed it.
I enjoyed
Honestly,
it. Your
I
picture's a
had
little bit
fun.
bigger on my screen. I get to see, this was good. I enjoyed it. Little date
Yeah,
night, little dude date. Nothing wrong with a dude date. Folks, there's
yeah.
nothing wrong with a dude date.
And with that, Chad and John, Jake Gyllenhaal Clemens sign off, and we'll speak to you again next week. Goodbye.